Hello everybody, Mr. Pilgrim here, coming at you with the second video in our Platinum Trophy Guide for Resident Evil 6. In the last video, we went over the entirety of Jake's campaign, as well as how to farm skill points. So now what we're going to be doing is basically just running through and doing the rest of the campaigns. We're going to start off with Leon. If you want to, you can watch any of the second, third, or fourth videos in whatever order that you would like to, because they don't really, doesn't matter all that much. More or less, just like I said, you're going to be going through and just collecting all of the heirlooms, which I'll be showing how to get all of those, and then if there's any details or certain things that you might want to know about during certain chapters, then I will obviously talk about those as well during those. So now we're just going to jump right into it and get the first heirloom of chapter 1. Alright, so shortly after a small cutscene where you find this dude chilling out in this closet area, you'll find the first serpent emblem of chapter 1. Alright, so shortly after having to hold out in a hallway against a bunch of zombies, you'll enter this specific area and you'll have to come through this door slowly as ever, and then you'll come into this room right here, and in this desk you will find the next serpent emblem. Alright, so the third emblem can be found after this door you'll have to go through. You'll need to do a partner takedown on a door beforehand, and when you'll hop down, you'll see just right here to the right is going to be the last serpent emblem, or not the last, but the second to last serpent emblem of chapter 1. So now we'll move on to the last one. Alright, so shortly after having to do a jumping puzzle and help Elena get across, you'll enter this bar that's kind of on fire, or has fire all around it. Now if you come here to the door and turn around, you'll find the last emblem of chapter 1. So now you can move on to chapter 2. Alright, so the first emblem of chapter 2 can be found just a bit past the specific, you'll be about 48 meters away. You'll find this light with this sign on it. If you come just behind it here, you will find the serpent emblem. So now we can move on to the second serpent emblem. Alright, so the next serpent emblem you can find in chapter 2 is going to be once you make it inside the cathedral. If you come to about right here and turn around, you should be able to see it right there. So now I'm going to move on to emblem number 3. Alright, so the next trophy to work on is actually related to this boss in the cathedral here.
Where the hell did that thing come from?
Look out for Scout!
Basically what you have to do is have 2 female survivors make it through this. Now, if you happen to beat the boss fast enough, you should get the trophy. I prefer them alive. It might take some trial and error and some restarting, so if you do happen to mess it up, don't worry, you can always restart or reselect the specific area of the chapter to get back to this point. So now we're going to move on to serpent emblem number 3. Alright, so the third serpent emblem will be just after this operating room. You'll run through this hallway area here, take a left, and there will eventually be a specific door right here that Helene is going to open that has this bathroom sink that you can lower the water in. And as you'll see right there will be the third serpent emblem. Next, move on to the last one of chapter 2. Alright, so the last emblem of Chapter 2 can be found shortly after sliding down a
Why
duct
can't you fill me in yet?
and ending in this little water area. You'll have this area that you can basically come down and slide to, and will be just here off to the left. Now we can move on to Chapter 3. Alright, so at the start of Chapter 3, if you run into this area specifically, and then look up and to the left, you will find the first emblem. Now we'll move on to the second emblem of Chapter 3. Alright, so once you enter this watery area, if you follow the path, you'll eventually end up where I am. You'll have these coffins that you can open up. Some of them anyways, and if you come over here and find this one specifically, you have to of course mash some buttons, but in the coffin you'll find the second emblem of Chapter 3. Now I can move on to the third. Alright, so when you have this section where Helena will go off on her own, from here you can actually see the third emblem right here.
These guys never go down easy.
And then you can now move on to the fourth emblem. Alright, so shortly after the giant swimming section with the shark, if you actually go up this ladder and backtrack the way that Helena came, you can actually find some ammo and things along the way. But if you go all the way to a very specific spot here, let me switch to my pistol. It is a bit of a run. As you can see, finding ammo and all that. But coming all the way back here, you should find that there's this NATO ammo, and in this barrel will be the last emblem of Chapter 3, so now you can move on to Chapter 4. Alright, so towards the very start of Chapter 4, you'll find the first two serpent emblems. The first one can be found right here, just down the stairs to the left, and then if you actually follow the main path back, it will lead you to the next one as well.
Get your seats and stay there.
Find a free herb in here though, which is pretty cool. So following this path, you'll eventually come down here, and you'll be in this room, and off to your right you'll have to fire 2 bullets to get it, but that will be the second one. So now we'll move on to emblem number 3. Alright, so in the Poison Wand shopping district after the Ustanak boss fight, if you come down here, so from that big door, you'll swing a left here, and then just inside this building will be the third emblem. Alright, so the last one can also be found here in the shopping district. If you come around to this side, you'll eventually go through this area, and you'll find that there's a ladder just right here. If you come up this ladder, you should be able to see the emblem right there. A little tough, but now we can move on to Chapter 5. Alright, so at the start of Chapter 5, you will eventually have to run through the streets and enter this building over here. See a small little cutscene.
You okay? What's it like out there?
And then as you'll see right here is
I don't think that's the half of it.
the first serpent emblem of the area. So now we can move on to the second. Alright, so after you find out that Ada is all cool and in the helicopter,
Leon,
you can basically go to where the tutorial area is.
But I've got a feeling things are about to get worse.
And in this area is where you will find the next serpent emblem. You'll just have to follow through everything. And in this area here, you'll see right here is the second emblem. Alright, so the next serpent emblem will be during this whole section. You have to dodge the giant... I don't even know what I'd call that. But after you do, you'll basically be close to the emblem. So from here, if you come over to this specific area, and you'll see the serpent emblem right there behind the desk. So now I can move on to the last one of Leon's campaign. Alright, so the last emblem of Chapter 5 can be found right after you have this small little confrontation with Simmons. So if you come back here, you will find the emblem right there. So now we can be done with that, and as always, I do hope that these videos are helpful, informative, or something of the sort. But as always, this has been Mr. Pilgrim, and I will see you all in the next video.